Hey guys, welcome to the second video of Snapshot Snipes. Thanks for joining me, guys. Today we're going to be talking about the donation of the Stanley Cup. Now, the ancestry of hockey's greatest prize begins a long way from its current home in the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto, Canada. Now, it was donated by Frederick Arthur Stanley. He was born in 1841, London, England, and he was the second son of Edward Stanley, the 14th Earl of Derby, and 3 times the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. So, this trophy's coming from a, noble Englishman. Well-to-do, comes from a very privileged family. He was raised amid privilege, and one would expect from the British nobility at the time. Keep in mind, this is when Britain was the world's only superpower at the time, and he was educated in the best schools that Britain would have, and he was steered towards being groomed for a life of power and wealth. Now, this is a complete different life than the ones that are going to be lived by the, those rugged, gritty, those farm boys and laborers on the prairies or in the ice-cold days of Montreal, Quebec, all over Canada. And at that time, it was known as the Dominion of Canada. So those guys are all learning to play hockey across the Atlantic Ocean in what was still one of Britain's colonies at the time. So, after he's had a varied career in the British military and the House of Commons, Stanley is offered the position of the Governor-General of Canada, which makes him the Queen's representative for the Dominion of Canada. And this happened in 1888. So along with his wife, Constance, and their 8 sons and 2 daughters, this big family, he jumps across the ocean and settles in Ottawa, the capital of Canada, for those that don't know. Now, right away, the Stanleys fall in love with the burgeoning country. They think it's great. So much beauty. Massive compared to the size of, tiny little island. They're coming from England. And 2 of his sons, they become obsessed and entrenched in the game of hockey. Even his daughters loved it too, and they were playing it as well. So, they tell their father. His father comes and watches them play. They just all love it. And they became so obsessed with it, they formed a team of their own called the Rideau Rebels, which was named after the Governor-General's official residence. Now, one of his sons, Arthur, he takes this even further, helping to found the Ontario Hockey Association. And this was done in 1890. And that's the first organization that would govern the game and declare a champion for hockey, which is significant because Frederick doesn't ignore his son's interest in this game. And in 1892, 2 years later, he decides to have a trophy made and donated to be presented to the Championship Hockey Club of the Dominion of Canada. Now, he has this bowl made and purchased in London, England, and it cost him 10 guineas, which I believe is about $1,200 in today's money. On one side of the cup, it says the Dominion Hockey Challenge Cup, and on the other, from Stanley of Preston. Now, the first time this cup's going to be presented to a champion is 1893. And their first victor is the Montreal Hockey Club. And they are affiliated with the Montreal Amateur Athletic Association. The team earned the trophy after compiling the best record in amateur hockey in Canada, in the Amateur Hockey Association of Canada, which was a small circuit of teams based in Montreal, Ottawa, and Quebec City. So, Nordiques fans, the game started and was organized really quickly there in Quebec City, so I'm sure you guys are going to get the Nordiques back sometime. Now, the first challenge came 2 years later for the Cup from the Queen's University's team. They failed to win the Cup away from the Montreal Hockey Club. And in 1896, the Winnipeg Victorias become the first challengers to win it. Now, Lord Stanley's vision of the Cup has come to fruition, and as the years passed, you're going to see teams from as far away west on Vancouver Island in Victoria, British Columbia, and as far north as the Dawson City, Yukon Territory, issuing challenge for the pursuit of the Cup. So it made this pursuit of the cup a truly national quest. And teams definitely coveted it and they wanted to win it. And this time, basically any really, team could challenge for it. As the NHL is not around yet. It's not around until 1917. So, back then the size of the cup, I'll show you a picture of what it looks like here in 1926, 1927. And, even at this point, 10 years after the NHL was formed, you can see that's already starting to grow in size. But in its infancy, its first date, it was only that bowl on top. So it's about 8 inches tall, and it's made of silver. In the ensuing 125 years, we've all seen it grow to the state that we know now. It's grown physically, and also a lot of mystique is around it as well. There's a lot of stories. It's going to happen. A lot of players winning that cup. You're happy. 125 years of history. There's going to be some crazy stories, and they're going to get around. Now, today the cup's about 3 feet tall and weighs just under 35 pounds. The bowl is actually a replica. The original has been retired and resides in the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto, as I mentioned. And it sits atop tiers of silver-plated bands engraved with all the players that have won the cup on the team. Also, I think the trainers go in there, the owner, basically anyone that really has something to do with the team on an official level. And when a new band needs to be added, the old ones are taken off, and they also reside in the Hockey Hall of Fame. So, guys like Howie Morenz, and even Bobby Orr is going to have his name off the cup soon enough. And Maurice Richard. No. For a trophy named after a British Earl, the cup has a lot of traditions. It's presented on the ice in front of the fans, and since 1950, to the captain of the winning team, not an owner like in other North American major sports. It's paraded around the arena, held high, and held aloft, passed from one player to another, usually in a significant predetermined order. Now, Kimmo Timonen, he was a guy that played for Nashville and Flyers for years, and I think he signed a 1-year contract with the Chicago Blackhawks a few years ago to, be a depth defenseman. And, someone they could count on, I think, probably in the second or third pair. And, I think it was the third time the Cups, or the Blackhawks won the Cup. Or, sorry, it's the second time they won the Cup. And they passed it down from Jonathan Toews to Kimmo Timonen. And then, same thing happened with Ray Bourque, played his whole career in Boston and was traded to Colorado to win a Cup. Joe Sakic passes it to him, and there you go. Gets to do his victory lap with the Cup. And, then, the guys take a picture on the ice. Guys that are maybe scratched for the game or injured, they quickly get into the uniforms. They all get on the ice now, gather around for a photo, dripping in sweat. Picture to capture that huge moment that, it's going to last a lifetime, but you want to have that photo. Over the summer, the winning players, they each get to spend their own day with the Cup. And I believe since the 90s, 97, the Cup's been able to leave North America. So it's gone, to Europe, to Russia, all those European countries players have gone to. And it's seen a lot of miles, a lot of different cities. And they usually share it with their family, friends, and whatever small town or city they're from, just kind of give back to the community and look what I've done. I won the Stanley Cup. It's a pretty cool thing. And it's held newborn babies, cereal, dogs, a lot of booze. It sees a lot of booze every time it's won. All kinds of crazy things. The last time the Rangers won the Cup in the 40s, before they won it in the 90s, that long 40-year drought, the owners burnt their mortgage to the Madison Square Garden, and that's the reason why they believed there was that curse of them not winning. And like I mentioned, this is a demanding trophy to win, the hardest. The playoffs, it's war. It's a long battle. 2 months, 16 playoff victories you have to have, and as many as 28 playoff games to claim it. It's not only the oldest sport in in professional sports, but it's definitely the toughest to win, in my opinion. So if you guys like this video, thanks for watching. Please leave a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.